Part 6, Cell's original timeline, turn for the better or for the worse. We did the worst case scenario in the first 3 or 4 parts. We're now doing the better case scenario. Well, not technically yes and no. Let's see. Goku's mindset. We're going to talk about knowing that Cell had only absorbed 17. He's calm, he's analytical, and he's confident, right? He sees it as a way to push himself and Gohan beyond perfect Cell. I talked about that in the last short. He's optimistic, but he's realistic. He knows there's a limited window. Now, the difference changes when he knows Cell has already absorbed 18. Goku's stress levels would spike. He would be calm outwardly, but internally he would know that they were training for a fight against perfect Cell with a much narrow margin for error. There's more pressure to accelerate Gohan's training. Most importantly, he might take more extreme risks to even push Gohan harder, because Cell is exponentially more dangerous. It's not that much different from what I talked about in the last part with Vegeta and Trunks. I think Vegeta would be willing to have Trunks be a casualty, because at that point he would see it as, well, if you can't contribute or if you can't survive, you're not going to make a difference anyways. And we know that's how Vegeta was operating at that time. Goku is still going to have empathy for his son, but only to a certain extent before, you know what I mean? Like, I see that same thing playing out, but just not in as much of a extreme way maybe as a Vegeta Trunks situation would. There could be inner conflict though as well. Goku would be asking himself, do I train Gohan to win, or do I risk breaking Gohan by pushing him beyond his limits? There could be that kind of extreme side of Goku. I don't think it would happen in this scenario, but that's something you have to think about. That's a lot of stress and pressure to think about when the threat level, again, I am going to keep repeating that phrase because that's what's essential here. Semi-perfect Cell and a perfect Cell are two different fighters, two different levels of strength, two different levels of something that you have to account for, right? Vegeta's mindset, of course, was absorbed with wanting to surpass Goku. 18 absorbed, I talk about it. There could be internal tension. Arrogance might clash. We discussed that in the last part. Trunks, we discussed him. And with Gohan, again, I think most importantly, his fear and his responsibility would actually push him further. So it could result in even more awakening of his power or hesitation in his training because of the fear. Gohan, would almost be acting in paralysis, okay? That's happened. We've seen that happen in Dragon Ball. It's nothing new. That could be the downside. And that would potentially be more dangerous if Gohan wasn't able to act on those emotions we saw in the actual manga and the anime. So let me know your thoughts. We'll be wrapping this up in part 7.